We have four types of weights in, okay, in the broader classification, it was classified into conditional weight and unconditional weights. What is conditional weight? So we are giving a in the conditional weight, it's a from thread dot means a thread dot sleep is there, right? So that thread dot sleep from Java is called our conditional weight. Means what is this weight is we are halting the script execution. For an example, now you have given thread dot sleep 5,000 milliseconds. 1 second equal to 1,000 milliseconds. Now it will halt the script. It will not even proceed further. It will halt that for 5 seconds. So this is what thread dot sleep. Now come back to unconditional weight. So unconditional weights, we do have four weights under this. Now, what are that particular four weights is, we do, 1 second, I'll try to draw and then show that one so that it will be easier for us to understand. Okay, I need to share the screen for that. So can you stop sharing screen, please? Okay, so you are able to see the screen, right?
Yes, Krish.
Okay, now I'll draw here. So now for an example, now here we have, as I told you, in synchronization. What do you mean by synchronization? First thing, synchronization is nothing but matching the tool speed with the application speed is called synchronization. Okay, tool is nothing but Selenium, and then application is nothing but whatever the Facebook application or Make My Trip, whatever the application you are testing it. So synchronization is nothing but matching the tool speed with this one, because the tool shouldn't go fast, very fast, or application shouldn't go very fast. So it should match both. So that is what we wanted to see it. So this is what the synchronization point. Now, in this particular synchronization, we do have two things. One is conditional and another one is unconditional weights. So in the conditional weight, we have thread dot slip. So in thread dot sleep, this is from Java. So as I told you, so this particular thread dot sleep, what it will do is it will halt the script. Means for an example, I have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now, when I used this thread dot sleep here, whatever the time I have been given, so 10 minutes I have given, or 10 seconds I have been given. So it came to here and it will sleep for 10 seconds and it will not do anything. So it will not even go for next step. After 10 seconds completed, then it will go to the step 3 and step 4. So this is what conditional weight. Now unconditional weight, as I told you, we have four things. One is implicit weight, explicit weight, fluent weight, and then page load time. So these are the four things we will be having in Selenium. Now let's start with implicit weight. What do you mean by implicit weight? So implicit weight is nothing but, now I have 10 lines over here, okay, or 10 statements, S1, S2, S3, S4, and till dot 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 10 lines. Now in implicit weight, if I define at the top of the program, now in the statement number 1, I use the find element, right? All means wherever you find element or find elements, for all these particular elements, this particular time it will wait. For example, I have given 20 seconds to wait, or 30 seconds I need to give wait. So if any object is available, it will immediately click on that particular object. If object is not available, it will wait for 30 seconds. But the problem is, for all the objects, we will be waiting. Means if any object is not available, then it will wait for 30 seconds. See now, do you remember the hard session, soft session? If one thing in the soft session, even if it failed, it will proceed further. Same way here, what it will happen is, if this particular object is not available, then it will fail this and it will wait 30 seconds here, and then it will go for the next. And in this particular element, it will once again wait for 30 seconds and it will wait here. And if this element also is not available, it will wait for 30 seconds. Now you see how much time it was waiting. We defined only once, and this definition of the wait, it implicates for all. Even if there is a failure, it will wait for 30 seconds and it will not stop the script, and it will proceed further, and then it will go away. And now if see, for an example, I need to navigate to from login page to home page, and then I need to do the validation. In login page itself, the login failed. But all validations which I have been given in the home page, I'll wait for 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Is it really required? Login itself failed, boss. What you will do in the home page? So the it consumes a lot of time. So this is the disadvantage of implicit weight implementation. So implicit weight, if you define it once, it will be for all the objects, not for the specific object. Now by this definition itself, now whatever the disadvantages here, it can be recovered back in the explicit weight. Means explicit weight is for specific element. Excellent, right? So now here the implicit weight, for all the elements we will wait for this, but for the explicit weight we will be specifying it for a particular element. Now another important thing is, this is the first thing, it's for the specific element. Second pointer is, if a particular element is not available or not visible, then it will fail that particular condition and halt the script execution. So this is a hard stop. So means if it is fail, means if the particular object is not there, it will fail that. Means if the login is failed, it will not go to the home page at all. It will fail the test case and then it will come out. So first thing is, it is for a specific element, and then it is if the means if particular object is not available, we will fail that particular object and then proceed further with the it will not even proceed further with the other thing. And here what we will do is, another important thing is, we will give the conditions. We have overall 18 conditions for this. What is this particular condition? Until we have a method, until dot expected condition element is visible, means the element should be visible to the eyes, and our element is present. Like this we have 18 conditions we'll be having it. So based upon this particular condition, so we will perform the object presence, and here we will wait for 30 seconds or 1 minute or whatever the things you wanted to give. So you will be giving the time limit. So how this explicit weight works is, it will work for specific element, and then even if it is failed, it will stop the execution, and based upon condition, it will identify the element. It will wait for the element. If timeout happen, it throws the error, and then it will halt the script. So this is what the explicit weight. And the fourth one is, it have a default timer of 5 seconds, 0.5 second. So what is a default time is, now for an example, I have given 30 seconds of time. So in 30 seconds of time, every 0.5 second, it will go and hit the DOM. So now 30 seconds, right? So it will means how many times it will hit the DOM? For 60 times it will hit the DOM. After 60 times, if it didn't identify it, then it will make that test case failed, and then it will go. So this default time, we will not see it into our naked eye. It's an internal mechanism. So we can't change this default time over here. So these are the four things you need to remember. One is, it is a specific for the element. Second thing, if it failed, then it will fail and then abort the test case execution. And it all depends upon the conditions to identify. It will, based on the condition, it will wait. And the next one is, it will have a default time of 0.5 seconds. And here we have 4 exceptions will come. So I quickly don't remember that 4 exceptions. No such element found, element is not visible, and other 2 exceptions are there, stale element or something. So those things will come over here. We should know for explicit weight what are the errors also we will be coming at. So this is how we need to understand that. So these are the this is what the explicit weight, and this is what the explicit weight 5 items you need to remember. When I ask you explicit weight, all these 5 things you need to say. When I ask for the implicit weight, so you need to say that implicit weight is for all the objects which are having the find element and find elements. It will be defined only once for all the object. Okay, so defined for all the objects, and once we will be defining it. And second pointer is, if the test case is, even if object is not there, it will proceed further with the execution, and then it will wait for all the elements. And then these are the 2 pointers which we need to remember for the implicit weight. Now the next one is the fluent weight. So now see, on this we have the advantages. Now on this we should have the advantages for the fluent weight, right? So you take the same thing. Fluent weight is also for the specific object. And here what is the difference is, it will fail that particular test case, right? And if you see here, what in implicit weight, what it was happening, even though if it is failed, it will proceed further. And here what it will do in explicit weight, it will fail there and halt it there. But in the fluent weight, it have both the option. What it will try to do is, it will we can specify an error. So if you get the no such element exception, you proceed further. Ignore exception means when if for a particular element, if the exception comes, it can ignore that and it can proceed further. Or else if you don't want it to ignore that exception, then that will fail. So this have both the capabilities in the fluent weight. That is a basic difference between the explicit weight and this one. And next difference is, here the polling time is default 0.5 second, but here you can give the polling time according to your wish. Means every 0.5 second I don't want it to hit the DOM. I know that every 5 seconds I need to hit. So then I can give, okay, every 10 seconds I need to hit the DOM. Then I'll give the polling. Polling means it's nothing but, for example, it will come, means I told that come at 11:30. So you people will come at to 11:25 and see whether this guy is joined or not. You'll go back. Once again, after every minute 26, you'll come and see whether this guy joined or not. So you're just polling and then you're seeing whether this guy is there or not. So the same way, this particular method will put to the DOM. DOM means our front end UI in document object model. So in the HTML page, whether this particular object is present or not, whether this object is present or not. So it will come there and it will poll that and it will see and then go back. If you see the object and the object is present, immediately it will proceed further. So that is what the basic difference between the thread dot sleep. Even if the object, if in the thread dot sleep, if I given 5 seconds, even if the object available, I'll wait for 5 seconds. But whereas in the implicit wait, if object is available, even I given 30 seconds, if the object available in the first second, it will proceed further with the first second. If the object available at 20th second, it will wait for 20 seconds and then it will go. And even after 30 seconds, if it is not available, then it will fail that. That is a basic difference between the thread dot sleep and the implicit wait. So the thread dot sleep will always halt. Means if you given 30 seconds, no matter, it will halt for 30 seconds. But whereas implicit wait, so it will, whenever the element comes into the picture, immediately it will go. If at all it crossed beyond the time, then it will fail. And it will proceed further with the implicit wait. But whereas in explicit wait, so even if this particular thing element is not came beyond the time, below the time, then it will fail that and then it will proceed further. It will fail that and it will stop the execution. And in the fluent wait, even that's the same, but we can ignore that respective exception. Only for if that exception comes, you can ignore and proceed further. If that is not the exception, if any other exception came, it will stop the execution and will stop there. So there are two differences from this one, means three differences. We'll not have any specific condition here, just we will wait for that particular time in the fluent wait. Next one is it will for the specific time, means specific object only, and it can ignore the exceptions and proceed the further, or it can stop the execution, and no conditions will be there. And the polling time is the third pointer. We can change the dynamic polling time. So for whatever the polling time we wanted, we can give it. So that is what the fluent wait. And the next one is the page load time. Page load time is a direct method. So what it will try means, we will give, means these are timeout exceptions. When you get a timeout exception for this one, that particular thing, we need to understand that within that stipulated time the page is not loaded, then we will get the page load exception. So most prominently in all these particular four weights, we will use mostly only the explicit weight. And if you are really know about this fluent weight and the page load time, you can use that one also. Page load time is for that particular page, whether the page is loaded completely or not. So that is what it will verify from the page load time. Got it? So this is how the weights has been means neatly created and then will be used in the Selenium. So are we clear with this?